Hello again. I'd like to introduce you to my audience. This is my great-granddaughter Bella, my grandson, and my son-in-law. I have two brothers. One's a couple of years older than me, and the other one's a year younger than me. I also have two sisters, but they're 11 and 13 years younger than me, so they're not really part of this story. When we were growing up, my mother would make us enchiladas, and us kids would sit, the three of us, in the kitchen and watch her cook them. We acted like maybe somebody might sneak in and steal them if we didn't watch them. Then when she'd get them on the table, we'd rush there real quick and eat our fill. And she had a rule in the house that if there was any leftovers, that whoever got up first got to have them. I guess you know who was always up first. I'd stay awake all night if I had to. My daughter, Lynn, I live with her, and she is absolutely wonderful. Her kids and the grandkids will even bribe her to cook them, since I don't cook anymore. And on Thanksgiving, they'd almost rather have enchiladas than turkey. Lynn got up early today. She worked last night as a nurse on the night shift, and prepped everything and made my enchiladas for me so that I would have everything ready for you guys to see. So now I'm going to show you how to make enchiladas the way my mother did. The first thing that you have to do is turn on the oven to 350. The next thing is to start the hot sauce, because that's very, very important to get it going first so that the hotness gets in it. You need a can of tomatoes like this, or if you don't have those, just regular tomatoes is all you have. Just chop some up and put them in a saucepan with water and put them on the stove to boil a little bit to break them down. And then just add crushed red peppers. Now the amount of crushed red peppers you add is up to you. If you like them really hot, add a lot. If you don't, just add a few. When I was young and started making them, we didn't have crushed red peppers. All we had was the regular long pepper. So we had to crush them ourselves, because if they're not crushed, you don't get the seed, and the seed is where the heat is. And I tell myself every time, now after you do this, don't touch your face. And every time after I did it, I would rub my eye or touch my face like this and burn. Oh my goodness, you can't imagine how hot that was. So be careful and don't do that. Now that you've got the sauce going, the next thing is to fry the hamburger. You want to cook it on a slow heat, because if you cook it slow, you can get it to crumble really small, which is what you want. Then you need to cook the shells, and you fry those. You put a little bit of grease in a small frying pan, and you put the shell in it, and you only hold it like maybe 3 seconds on one side, and then flip it over on the other side using the tongs. Then they'll come out like this. Then you could put them on either paper towels or whatever to get a lot of the grease off, because they will be greasy. And they don't have to stay hot because everything's going in the oven, so just put them aside. Then slice some olives. So you have the olives all sliced up. Then cut up some tomato. Slice up some green onions, and you can get the shredded cheese that's in the bag, or if you want, you can get a block of it and grate your own. And the same with the lettuce. You can either buy a bag of shredded already, or get a head and just chop it up. Then you make the sauce that's going to coat the enchilada. And this is the sauce, and this is the size of pan that we make it in. And you put in about this much oil, and then you just put flour in it, and after the oil gets almost boiling hot, and as soon as you start putting the flour in, you turn temperature off on the burner. And you stir it all around till it's kind of soaked up the flour and it's crumbly, so it's not all wet and sloppy. And then you add chili powder. And the amount of chili powder that you add is up to you. It adds flavor, and it also adds color so that you have a nice, pretty brown sauce. Hopefully you can see this. It's kind of a golden reddish brown instead of just a big glob of white flour and oil. And also the flavor. So now I'll tell you how you're going to put them together. You need a baking pan or a cookie sheet. Depends on how many you're making. And you better wear gloves because this is a hands-on thing. So you take your little taco shell and you dip it in one side and dip it in the other. And then you lay it halfway down in the pan and leave the top part up. Then you take a little bit of hamburger, spread it across it, and you take your cheese, spread that across there, and then you take some olives, a little bit of tomato, and a little bit of lettuce. And then you fold the top down. Now you can keep on with this for however many you want to make. This one won't stay up because it's been sitting too long. But after you get them all in the pan, then you put it in the oven to cook. And once you get done with that, this is what you're going to end up with. Two beautiful enchiladas. Then you take your hot sauce that you already cooked, and again, it depends on how hot you like it or not, and you just put that over the top of it. Sprinkle your green onions on it, and you're good to go with a beautiful plate. Plus it's really good food. Now the good things about making these is that if it's something you don't like in them that you just made, leave it out. If you don't like a tomato, don't put tomato in. If you don't like onion, don't put the onion on. If you'd rather have something else in them, put it in. We make 3 kinds here at the house. We make these with everything in them. We also make one that just has meat and cheese in it. And then my daughter, she puts cheese in hers and Mexican rice and beans. And she puts sour cream on it and lettuce on top. I don't care for sour cream, so we don't use that. So the only bad thing about making enchiladas is that once you make them and your friends and everybody try them, you'll be making them all the time. So you can go shopping, get all your ingredients, and start cooking. Me, I'm going to eat my enchiladas. So here's my audience again. Awful sober today. Okay, thank you.